Hey guys, Monster Trio back here. I know it's been a while, been pretty busy lately, but I have read the most recent One Piece chapter, and boy, do I have some theories that I wanted to get out there. And so, my big theory that I'm going to focus on in this video is I believe there's going to be a future fight between the Kid Alliance and Luffy's Alliance because Kid is going after Luffy's idol, red-haired Shanks. So obviously, I think that they're gonna have a confrontation at some point, and I think it's gonna be sooner rather than later. Like it's gonna be closer. I don't know how to describe this, but it's not gonna be toward the end of One Piece, but probably like okay. So let's say there's a point. There's the point between now and the end of One Piece, right? And then there's the middle point. I would say it's before the middle point that he fights Kid's Alliance. And I think what's going to be really interesting is I think that because of that, they're foreshadowing a new member of the Alliance. And I think the new member of the Alliance for Luffy, because Kid's Alliance has Kid, Basil Hawkins, Scratchman Apu, and then his second in command, Kid's second in command, Killer. So for the Straw Hat Alliance, it's already Luffy, Law. We're missing the third one, who I'm about to say who I think it is, and then Zoro would obviously take on Killer because he's the second in command for the Straw Hats. And I think that the new leader um, for the Straw Hats, their second division commander, is going to end up being X Drake, the former rear admiral, and who is currently on Wano with Kaido. And I think he's going to be the next Straw Hat Alliance member because he his father was killed by Doflamingo, and he has that past with Law, and now Luffy because Luffy just fought Doflamingo, so I think they have that connection now. Also, I feel like they're kind of lacking serious people on Luffy's alliance, and I think that's why Oda has decided to put Law and gonna put Drake on his alliance because Luffy's such a fool. There was no way that they were ever gonna put like a Scratchman, a Pooh in his alliance because he's so like crazy already, and we already have that crazy musician in Brook too. So I think that Drake is going to be the next alliance member, and I think he's going to bring a lot to the table. Him being a zone fruit user, um, and so I think he's going to be the next one. And then when they fight each other, I think it's going to be Kid versus Luffy. It's going to be Law versus Basil Hawkins, and then it's going to be Scratchman Apu versus X Drake. And I think X Drake's gonna have the toughest fight because I know like people say don't base strength off bounties, but all of their bounties have exceeded 300 million, and X Drake's is just over 200 million. His is only 220 right now, and so that means that I think at least that Scratchman Apu has made a bigger jump than he has in strength level since the time skip. It's also interesting to see what's going to end up happening with the other members of, or other supernovas, not members of anything. So yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening with Luffy versus Kid. I think that Luffy. I mean, Luffy's always going to win, but I think we're going to learn more about that alliance and more about those characters. There was a theory going around actually that Kid is going to have like the saddest backstory, and that's why he's such like a sadistic person. And I actually think that that's actually a pretty good theory because I mean we know nothing about him, and he's got all those scars on his body. So I don't. I think that's actually a pretty good theory. Um, Other than that, I don't think that Shanks's crew is gonna die or anything to Kid because like I don't know because they've got that whole connection. If it was just Shanks, like I would say yes, but then you've got Usopp and his whole connection with Yasopp, who's on the Red Shanks on the red-haired pirates. So I don't think that they can just kill off the whole crew because not only would it be killing Luffy's idol, it would also be killing Usopp's dream of like meeting his dad essentially, which he never got to do. So I think that Shanks is gonna hold his own, or I don't know what'll happen there, but I think it'll happen. Shanks versus the Kid Alliance is gonna happen at the same time as Luffy versus Kaido, because then Luffy would be too preoccupied to be able to help Shanks at all, or even hear news of it, essentially. Um, yeah, so, yeah. And um, final wrap up of Dressrosa. Um, I'm really interested to see if we get, like, anything interesting happens at the end of Dressrosa, like if we see the Alliance members, if we see a new crew member maybe, um, see what happens with Fujitora, because he just bowed down, and now Akainu wants him to come back with the heads of Luffy and Law, so I don't know what's going to happen there. So, oh, and I want to get your guys' opinions. Do you think that two people I want to ask, do you think they dead? One, do you think Burgess is dead after, after that insane fire blast that he took from Sabo? And two, well, yeah, two, do you think Bellamy is dead from the previous fight? Because if he is not, if he, frankly, if he is dead, then he's dead. But then I think that was a waste of a character because they brought him back after like showing all that progression. What was the point of showing all that like progression if he just died? Like it didn't make any sense to me. And then if he is alive, what do you think is going to happen with him? I personally think if he is alive, which if he is alive, I think he has to. He's definitely 100% joining the alliance, and I think there's a serious chance that he could join the crew because he's one of few people who can use hockey, and he's not so strong that he's stronger than the Monster Trio, which I think is a mandatory must. I feel like if a person is going to join the crew, they need to be weaker than the Monster Trio, or else it wouldn't be the Monster Trio anymore. All right, well that's my theory. Get back to me, leave a comment in the section below on anything, everything. I love getting comments and responding, so love hearing different people's theories. That's why I made this channel. So please leave your comments in the section below. And Monster Trio signing off.